It started when I watched a CBS story on Sunday morning, and it was had to do with a fellow from Tacoma, Washington, and he for the past 2 years he does the same thing every day, and he hasn't missed a day in 2 years. He'll look at the paper and find out when dusk is, and then he'll practice during the day. He plays a trumpet. He's 78 years old, never been in the service, but he plays the trumpet, and he goes out on his deck at dusk and he plays taps. And he has done that religiously for 2 years. Well, I just think that it's time that we start to remember what has happened in the past, because it's easy to forget history. And our history will soon be forgotten with guys like me and other guys that have been around. 68 years ago, Easter morning, that I was on the shores of Okinawa, and that after being there till that was April, so it would be in June, I was aboard a hospital ship coming home, and I was one of 6 walking patients. And our first duty as we got out of the harbor of Okinawa was burial at sea. Well, burial at sea is a very simple thing. The body is in, this is the way we used to handle it, the body is in a zipped up weighted rubber bag, and they have the body on a slab, and there are 3 guys on each side, or 4 depending on how many you had, and at the certain signal, the taller guys on the end would lift up the slab, and the bag would slide underneath the American flag, and taps would be sounded. Well, the taps means a lot to me, and it still tears me up every time I hear it. If you pull up taps on Google it, and you'll just be amazed about the history of it and the stories that are there. I didn't realize that the taps is a U.S. recognized song. It's recognized by the government. They did that this year. It's played at military funerals, and people my age, I'm 89, I'll be 89 in June. And so a lot of my guys are dying at the rate of 1,500 a day. And so military funerals are fast and furious, so they didn't have enough trumpet players to do taps. So the government has authorized, there is a fake bugle that you can get, that you push a button and a CD clicks in, and all at once you've got a perfect taps. Well, that's what's happened to Valparaiso American Legion has it. And in fact, I complimented the guy on what a great taps he did, and he kind of blushed a little bit and said, you know, that wasn't me, that was the bugle doing that. So they said they could do what I wanted to do. So they hooked up on January 2nd on my deck of my condo. If you were out there this evening, dusk will be at 7:26 tonight. And at 7:26, there will be 2 speakers underneath my deck, and you'll hear taps played. And it works like clockwork. Tomorrow, it'll pick up 2 minutes probably. So at 7:28, you'll hear taps tomorrow. It makes up for the difference between dawn and dusk, because the box knows where it's located. And that's how it works. Plays it every day. I sometimes forget it, but it automatically does it, and it's right on time. That's the beauty of the thing. And then the next day, it's right on time, including those 2 minutes. It makes up for the difference between dawn and dusk. And that's the way Profile does their energy savings, by turning things on and off wirelessly in stores. So that's one of the reasons I started this. I think it's just so that we don't forget history. I'd like to see, I'm working on Valparaiso right now. We are going to, I'm going to have a box in probably the museum over there, maybe the American Legion post, and maybe a store downtown, and the commissioners are looking at it, and possibly they may put it in the courthouse. Well, that would cover the town a little bit. A lot of it, I would say 95% is good, but there are some people that are skeptical. I noticed the mayor of Indianapolis, who was a 20-year veteran of the Marine Corps, thought it would be a downer to do it in this city. Well, it depends on where it is. That's the home of the American Legion nationally. They've got a park right on Meridian. Perfect place to do it. I mean, it doesn't have to be played all over town. That's not what I'm thinking about. Well, Northwest Indiana, we've got the Legacy Foundation, who is willing to sponsor certain areas in Lake County. We're talking about the monument on 73rd Avenue in Maryville, a perfect spot for it. There are several parks that are geared for veteran parks, and the one in Munster is perfect for it. Spiro Batistatis has agreed to put one in the Welcome Center. It's a lot of times they'll be closed, but it's just the idea that you can hear taps in the distance. It only lasts 57 seconds. It doesn't take long to play it, and it just means a lot. I'd like to see it in American Legion posts and VFWs. There are 27,000 posts throughout the country, and they could play it in the evening, 57 seconds, just as a remembrance. That's the idea of the whole thing, so that we don't forget history.